Evan Williams couldn't play in the slot like a dog. I mean, you see him near the line of scrimmage. He plays really well. I think someone else commented, I don't know if that was Coach Len in the chat, brought that up a few minutes ago, that Evan Williams near the line of scrimmage is no joke as well. So there's versatility across the board. But I'm leaning towards, your opinion on the matter, Clay. I think it's E. Will's job to lose here. I love Javon Bullard, but until he can get that coverage grade up, get that footwork and those hips turning the right way and, not getting beat, then we can talk about safety. I'd prefer him, like I said, hybrid damn near will linebacker sometimes type of guy and playing slot corner as opposed to being on the back end, the last guy between, a receiver and a touchdown. I feel better about Evan Williams in that spot, honestly, at this point.
As Clint says in the chat here, Jacob, Evan is a smart man. He mentions FBI, obviously football intelligence. And what's crazy is I remember us breaking down his college tape and we're going, man, he's really good against the run. He's a great tackler, but how good is he going to be in coverage? He's going to be great in coverage and really, really smart football player at that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hate, always agreeing with each other, but I just don't think that Evan Williams is going to lose that spot. And honestly, I don't want him to, because I saw something out of Evan Williams where the FBI is a great, that football IQ for him being as young as he was, he seemed to understand the process that was happening. And the fact that he works with a guy like X that I'm sure is helping mentor these guys. Yeah. I want Javon Bullard on the field. I don't want him taking Evan Williams off the field, if that makes sense. Wherever we can stick Bullard in. Right. Like Tim maybe highlighted there, is it certain packages where we have almost like a hybrid kind of backer slash what do you call that position, Clay? Would you call a hybrid backer safety or maybe a hybrid slot safety? Would you call that like a
star, something like that? Or
well, see, star is typically your nickel back. When you got a guy that can kind of play safety and corner, which is what Bullard did last year, I refer to him as a spur safety. Now, spur is typically when you're safety, and it's kind of a college term. It's the safety that plays in the box over the tight end, typically that type of guy. But yeah, I mean, star is a good description of it as well. It's that dude that's going to play in the slot over the three, unless they go speed to three and you want to match a different type of corner on them, and then they got to be versatile enough to kick inside. Now, listen, back in the day when the Saints kind of hit their peak under Sean Payton and they had Greg Williams as their defensive coordinator, this was back in the early 2010s, I believe, maybe late 2000s. What they did was they ran a dollar set, and they had a lot of DBs. They would put 6 DBs on the field, right? And they would even play the run like that. And they could do that because 2 of those 6 DBs were actually kind of hybrid safety linebackers. That makes sense. So, yeah. Ron Sample said Williams appeared in 12 games and started 6. So they did get it right. Thank you so much, Ron. Appreciate it. So, and you know how that start is too, guys. Kind of like LVN in college. They were like, he didn't even start. It's like, bro, they did that on purpose. Like they literally, the opening snap, they had their seniors on the field, and they pulled him off, and he played every other snap. So it is kind of splitting hairs in that regard. So anything else on the safety position there, boys, on that?
Thank you, Goody, for flipping that room. Appreciate it.
Yeah, dude.
It really did, man. Hell of a job there. Tony Holman in the chat said, you'll sweat out of places you didn't know you had tomorrow at camp. Hey, well, don't be ashamed to break out the nut dust. Go for the green bottle. Go for the green bottle. Go, Bond. Get the triple action. Don't waste no time. Take care of business. Terrible. All right? It is terrible, Chuck. We know what it's like. All right.
Don't use that bottle when you're on the pole. That was the problem today, guys. All right.
That was the problem.
Opposite.
Got them cheeks hanging up on the pole. All right, Tim. About to sign off. All right, number 5 here. We have got, Bates got it. He knows about the green bottle. Medicated, baby. You got it, buddy. You got it. I heard somebody talking about the other day, and they were like, man, you got to be careful with that stuff. You overload it, turns into sheetrock mud. All right.
Good
number
Lord.
5 here. We got the top 2 outside receiver spots. Pretty specific, right? Romeo Doubs versus, I'm sure the chat's out of line. Romeo Doubs. We need somebody to generate an AI image of Jacob with his cheeks stuck on the pole. That's what we need. So Romeo Doubs versus Matthew Golden versus Dontavion Wicks versus Savion Williams. All right. So Jaden Reed's a lock in the slot. I think we would all agree there. But the battle for the top outside receiver role is wide open. With Christian Watson most likely being out until November, the race is between 4 guys for 2 spots. Romeo Doubs has good hands. Dontavion Wicks, known for getting open, are veterans in the mix. Rookie first-rounder Matthew Golden brings playmaking potential, while third-rounder Savion Williams could surprise. Snaps will depend on camp performance. And we kind of talked about this with Savion. We didn't get to see him at receiver a lot at TCU when we broke down the tape because they put him everywhere. He was wildcat. He'd play in the sidecar. They use him on cheat motion, end arounds. When he did play, his contested catch rate was unbelievable. But at the same time, he had a lot of drops, just open passes that he dropped. So it's like, which one is he? To me, he's the dark horse, right? He's the guy that's probably kind of the odd man out. But I think it's going to come down to them giving him a chance with that big, what is he, 6'4", 230 pounds, 220 pounds, whatever it is. So Romeo Doubs is definitely an X, right? He'll play the X. That's on the line of scrimmage opposite side, typically in a phone booth on the boundary type thing. He can win in close quarters. He's got good hands. That's his superpower. Matthew Golden, 4'2", 40, take the top off the defense. Pretty darn good at contested catching as well. Good at high pointing the ball. We've seen him late hands in college, all those things. He does really well running those outside routes as well. What we see those comebacks. Remember, Tim, he would run the inside curl.
Yep.
He would curl in, catch the ball fading toward the sideline, then jab step and cut back inside. That's an outside move, right?
Yep.
And listen, we don't want anything to happen to Jaden Reed, but if he goes down, I'm not as concerned about the slot because Dontavion Wicks has a little bit of history there. Matthew Golden can kick into the slot if you need him to, because that's what a moving Z did in Sarkisian's offense down there at Texas. I just think this is going to be a hell of a camp battle. And that's why I said don't take the ranking, the number 1 through 5, to heart here, Tim, because this battle here could be as tough as any of the other 4 we mentioned.
I absolutely agree. I mean, just reading this, top 2 outside receiver spots. Doubs versus Golden versus Wicks versus Williams. Like this, like, I mean, are we living in a fairy tale right now? I mean, you talk about, do you think they took it serious when Scoot went down last year and they knew he was going to be out until possibly Thanksgiving? You think that this front office responded accordingly as we continue to add talent in the wide receiver room? So when it comes to the boundary, this is going to be one of the battles to watch for sure. I'm sure it's no secret. I think everyone's going to be looking at the wide receiver group from day one till the very end of training camp. And it's going to be fun to watch, particularly to your point, Clayton, Wicks and Williams, because that's going to be a battle that, if Tay Wicks doesn't take that step that we want him to take, and Savion Williams is the real deal, we might see a changing of the guard. You never know how camp shapes out.
And I'll tell you another guy we didn't mention here, Jacob, and I would not be surprised based off of his veteran presence and his experience playing with the Chiefs. What if we come out in camp and we're a week and a half in and all of a sudden Mecole Hardman is lining up in the Z and just taking the top off? That could be a thing too.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. As much as you guys know how much I love the underdogs, I would love if Savion Williams, because the guy is absolutely built like a brick, what house. I don't know if they would trust him with that much responsibility. I feel like they're definitely going to give a nod to a guy like Doubs and to Wicks and to Golden just because of the pedigree. But again, you talk about a good problem to have here, man. I mean, this is just kind of unbelievable to think that we have so much talent packed in that board. And again, it is worthwhile bringing up a guy like Mecole Hardman, who a lot of people maybe see as an underdog at this point. I hate using the term casual fans, but I think a lot of casual fans think still that he is just a camp guy, just a body, and that he doesn't actually represent anything that the Packers have, as like a future plans with this dude. I really do think that he's going to, right there. I think that he's going to surprise some people. And the best thing going for a guy like him is still to this day, that wide receiver room is incredibly young. Even the guys that have 2-3 years under their belt, I mean, that's not a lot. That's not a lot for growing into being a full-blown NFL wide receiver that understands the concepts, understands how to break down defenses, to attack those defenses. And imagine this too. A lot of these guys, I mean, even guys like Doubs, Wicks, even Watson, when he comes back, they could make an insane jump still, and their ceiling, their progression. And then imagine if one of these younger guys absolutely just come out of the gates and they're like a mid 70s PFF grade. You know what I mean? As rookies, we've got ourselves a group for a long time.
I think you highlighted one of the main reasons why they even entertained the thought of signing McCole Hardman is because when you have a room this deep and this young, you've got to bring in some kind of veteran leadership and some kind of stability and versatility to that room. And I think there's a legit opportunity for a guy like Hardman to be one of the 6 that ends up making this 53 when it's all said and done. But of course, camp starts tomorrow. So what the hell am I talking about? We'll see what happens, right?
Yeah, and as Robert said, Love did do a 70-yard bomb to McCole Hardman in OTAs. I remember that being one of the highlights there in OTAs. Coach Lynn says Packers aren't playing games with Wicks if he can't be more consistent. I mean, that's really what you've seen all the way across the board with these camp battles. Yep. Is Goody's just lining up another stud behind a guy. Hey, look, if you underperform again, this dude will take your spot. This dude will take your spot. I'm telling you, man, it's just
absolutely. What does that do? It raises the competition level through the roof. It's a chain reaction, right?
The rising tide raises all ships. No doubt.
What up?
This receiving it's tough.
Yes. What up, Murph, in the chat? Good to see you, Murph. Good to see you in here. All right, that's it. There are your camp battles. Let's go to the chat real quick. It got out of control a little bit earlier here. As Respect Orange says, Jacob's workout routine's cracking walnuts between his cheeks. All right, got it.
I love watching you highlight that, and I know it's coming like a slow freight train.
I think you start grinning.
Son of a
Chuck Jaggers in the chat said, I can just hear the old ladies. Jakey! United Bates says, better than the donkey show in Tijuana. Then Respect Orange says, poor donkey. So anyway, back to receiver. Just Packers in general. Pack fan Iowa. Good to see you, buddy. He said, it is going to be an insane year. I think everyone is way underestimating the Packers this year. We should be a damn good and right at the top of the league. Not a lot of holes. Completely agree with that, man. Completely. And I love it. I'm telling you, the Detroit Lions fans, we did that little injury update where they're kind of riddled with injuries. They've been in the YouTube comments all day. It's amazing how they find a Packers show to comment. Oh, yeah. But anyway, bro, they are so cocky, and I'm loving it. It's going to be so glorious when they fall flat on their face. Bro.
You remember when Carrington Valentine made his little post and said, "Hey, if you're hating on me now or you're doubting me now, don't show up later when I shock the world." That's what this Packers team is. There's a lot of shade and a lot of sleeping on this young Packers team. But I think we have a legitimate shot this year, guys. Like Pack fan and I was saying, like very little to zero holes so far. But again, it's early, things happen. But feel real good about our football team at this point of the year, right?
Yeah, definitely. Dan Fish says our wide receiver room is so deep, I don't see anyone getting a second contract next year. Dobbs and Watson are the ones on the last year of their rookie contract. That could be the case, Dan Fish. I personally would like to have Watson back if he proves okay. He's just as effective with the knee, the restructured knee and everything. But that wouldn't surprise me if they just said, you know what, let them both walk and just roll it on through. That could happen. So there you go. All right, let's get to the last topic here. Y'all got one more in you, boys?
Yes.
All right, so Green Bay Packers tweeted this out. Love it. Tom's staying in town.
Pay that man his money.
He did, right? So projecting the Zach Tom cap allocation. All right, I've been literally hitting refresh. You know that meme that everybody uses with all the old people on the slot machine just hitting the button constantly, right? I've been doing that all day long on Spot Track trying to get the cap allocation for Zach Tom. Now, obviously, it's not came down the pocket. I actually just checked it again right before I pulled this up on the screen. But we got a little bit of information from Spoon, Tom Silverstein over there. He said Packers set Zach Tom's base salary at $1.2 million in 25. So his salary cap number will be around $7.4 million. Puts Packers slightly more than $31 million under the cap. Plenty of room to do another extension or two, or be a player in acquiring a veteran through trade. Now, I don't think it's going to be that last part. I know a lot of people commented on this tweet and was like, Trey Hendrickson, we're going to get Trey Hendrickson. I'm going, y'all are setting yourselves up to be disappointed. I'm just telling you. Could it happen? Yes. I'm not ruling it out completely. But the fact that they took that tweet and just immediately thought we're getting Trey Hendrickson, it's a wild, wild assumption. But you guys remember last night we said expect his cap number to go up from that $3.5 million, and they'll probably try to front load it a little bit with some cap, right? Well, that's exactly what they did. Now, I want to compare this to Elton Jenkins' contract before, okay? And this is kind of hard for you guys to read. I'll give you the numbers. So Elton Jenkins' rookie contract when he came in the league starting in 2019, his cap hit 1.2, 1.5, 1.8, and it was set to be, I believe, 4.7 because of the performance escalator, okay, the performance bonus. Now, notice that's crossed out, and the reason being is they reached an extension, and now keep in mind it was supposed to be $4 million cap hit, right? And I'm going somewhere with this, so hang with me. So what they did was in 2022, they actually jumped that cap hit up to $9 million flat. So that's what I'm talking about is they'll actually increase that first-year cap hit rather than just keep it at that 4 and backload it. They put a little extra on the front to make it a little more palatable on the backside. What's the byproduct? The Elton Jenkins situation right now where the majority of the guaranteed money is gone now, and they're able to cut bait next year and free up $20 million. As you can see here, the cap hit is $24.8 million next year for Elton Jenkins, and the dead cap attached will be $4.8 million. Now, why am I bringing that up? This is kind of a little bit of a projection on Zach Tom. Remember what Spoon said. This lines up perfectly with how they did Elton Jenkins. Zach Tom, his cap hit this year is going to be around $7.4 million. So when you look at Zach Tom's rookie contract, $831K, $996K, he jumped to $1.1 million, then got the escalator of a little over $3 million, right? Whatever it is, $3.6 million, I think is what the number is. So notice that's crossed out now, right? And they put over on Spot Track the estimated cap hit of the same 3.5, but now Spoon is confirmed, and you guys know Spoon is lockstep, pretty well plugged into the front office. They pretty much confirmed it's going to be about $7.5 million cap hit. So we nailed it, boys. That's the reason I'm bringing this up. It looks like that cap is going to jump from 3.5 to 7, still very, very palatable, or to 7.5, very palatable this year. You still will leave yourself with roughly $31 million in cap space to do whatever you need to do, another extension or two, or if the right situation arises, you can go and trade for someone or sign a free agent. We still don't have the rest of the numbers, but this is a pretty good guesstimate here, guys, of how Zach Tom's contract is going to look. Is Elton Jenkins' second one, not to a T, but notice that first year, $9 million. The second year on the contract looks like it fell back to $6 million. So it actually went backwards a little bit in year 2, but then year 3 blipped to 14.4 cap hit, 17.6, then 24.8. Expect it to be somewhere in that ballpark with Zach Tom. Significantly more guaranteed money, obviously, as Elton Jenkins' guarantee was $24 million. Zach Tom's was $30 million. I think it's going to be real close. But the point is here, Tim and Jake, I want to get your all's take. Russ Ball, this is how he works these contracts, right? This is how they structure them. So expect Zach Tom's contract, his cap hits, to look somewhat similar to this, just a little bit higher in that regard. Not in year 1, it's actually lower. So pretty cool. What do y'all think about it?
I guess the question is, what do you think they're going to do for Big E here? You think it's going to be roster bonus? You think it's going to be workout bonus? How are they going to rework this or restructure this deal for him?
Yeah, I personally think they're going to give him a little more actual guaranteed if they do work it. Now, here's the thing. They may not touch it, Tim. Now, he's in-house. We got confirmation that Packers tweeted out a picture of everybody walking in. He's in camp right now. He'll probably do a hold-in, I would imagine, wanting a little guarantee. So, Tim, I think what you would do if you looked at his current contract this year in particular, right, he's basically wanting a little bit of guaranteed money for the next 2 years. So what you got is $11.7 million in base salary this year, and then you got $18.5 next year. He's probably going to want a little chunk of that in guaranteed money. So I said before, why not cut him a check for $5 million, right? Just say, all right, let's convert a chunk of it to $5 million guaranteed, and maybe take $2 or $3 million off the base salary. So you give him cash for cap space. Right, not the cap space, and they may not even go that route, but I think it's more along the lines of converting some of that base salary to signing bonus, Tim.
So you lower the cap hit, and then you also make Big E happy and give him some guaranteed money. Makes sense,
right? But you what you lose here though with that is your inability to cut bait next year and free up $20 million in cap space. You would probably end up spreading that out. Let's say he plays hardball and he wants $10 million guaranteed, right? So you're looking at another $5 million this year, another $5 million next year. That's going to increase his dead cap to somewhere around $10 million. They still could cut him because that $10 million would still free up $14 million in cap space, theoretically speaking, if the contract worked out just like that. If you approach it that way, you could still cut bait with him. But why would Big E want that deal knowing they could still cut bait? Because he's going to get an extra $5 to $10 million in his pocket. That's
show me the money, right?
Right. Yeah. What do you think, Jake?
I've been a Packer fan long enough to know that I don't know anything about the cap and that I trust it to the guys in the front office, and that while everybody's running around with their hair on fire, screaming that the sky is falling, I'll just sit down, light a cigar, and just wait for the announcement. There you go. Thanks, Timmy. I just wait for the announcement to come out and say all of a sudden, Packers announced that they just signed Elgton Jenkins to a crazy good deal, and then we look at the incentives, the base, the guaranteed, and it ends up being a team friendly or at least an acceptable deal. So that's what I'm going to do. We heard it with the Rodgers going back there. We heard it with Aaron Jones. We heard it with all these different players over the years. And at the end of the day, they seem to make it happen. I think that if you look at a guy like Zach Tom, that's the epitome of what it means to just be patient, to understand that you've shown what you could do on the football field, and to have trust in the organization is going to repay you for your troubles, and is actually going to make sure that if they do value and the type of player you are, you're going to get your money. You just got to not sit there and smack the ground and, scream and cry and cuss and get the media involved. That's not a way to do it in Green Bay. And I think that Zach Tom's shown that quite a bit.
I agree. And I think that's a credit to Elgton Jenkins and how he's handling this situation himself, right? He's made it clear his position. He's done nothing more than that. He's been a part of minicamp, OTAs. He's been around the facility. It's a technicality, right? So you love to see that attitude. Clayton, you were talking about glue guys. I think Elgton Jenkins is a glue guy as well. They just need to iron out some specifics here and make this make sense going forward the next couple of years.
Yeah, and listen, everybody's free to fan how they want to fan, but there were minimal comments, but there were some comments going, I wouldn't pay him anything extra. Just let him walk, let him sit. I'm going, this is a young offensive line. Elgton Jenkins is the veteran in the room, and we've got an opportunity, a unique opportunity, I feel like, to improve at the center position. Yep. And the reason that I'm okay with giving him some more guaranteed money is because if you guys listen to the show, this is what I've been talking about for the last 2 years, complaining, going, man, Myers is not it. Josh Myers is not a good football player. Love the dude. The team loves him, and he's a great guy, and he's one of those, he's a good locker room guy. But, man, you turn on the tape, and it was just hard to watch, especially on Duo.
Terrible.
So with that being said, you got an opportunity to improve the center position while adding Aaron Banks, who's been steady Eddie, grading out 65, and his versatility, his size. So you beef up the offensive line, you get veteran leadership in the center position, and Elgton. You want to see somebody run Duo? Watch Elgton get. He gets the second level, and again, how you arrive at confrontation determines how you handle confrontation. He arrives at confrontation ready to stick a boot in somebody's ass.
And right? Goody teaching a master class in roster formation, right? You kick Big E to center, and you turn around and you grab Aaron Banks, and you take 0 step back at left guard. You don't miss a beat at all. I mean, It's awesome.
Yeah. What do you guys think about this? Is the second night in a row that Mr. Alex T, and I'm not trying to hate on you, sir, but he's made this comment almost verbatim. He says, I believe in the players, but not the head coach and the coaching staff on the offense and defense. The chat's already letting us
sit your butt outside.
No, we're not going to do that. He was polite.
Completely disagree with that. Fervently. Like, I just think that's I'd like to hear your rationale on that. And I won't, again, we're not trying to attack you or anything. I just think that's very, I don't understand the basis of that comment whatsoever.
Right. And listen, I want to be real clear. As long as nobody's rude in disagreeing, I have no problem with it. You know what I mean? Right. Like that's what we're here for. We're all trying to figure it out together. I know Jacob agrees, Tim agrees. But when I look at the coaching staff, you got to start with Matt LaFleur, right? And I want to give a shout out to Rob Westerman. I see him in the chat. Appreciate you, buddy, dropping in. We're going to hook up here soon and actually do a pod together. I'm really, really excited about that. So Matt LaFleur is one of the all-time winningest coaches in the history of the National Football League. And all we heard was, well, it was all Aaron Rodgers, right? Well, Aaron Rodgers has been gone for 2 years, and what did Matt LaFleur did? All Matt LaFleur did was make the playoffs 2 years in a row. The only 2 years without Aaron Rodgers. He missed the playoffs the last year with Aaron Rodgers, with a broken thumb and this and that. So you replaced a Hall of Fame quarterback. And then on top of that, your starting quarterback pretty much missed 3 games last year. And you put together in short order a game plan for a guy that you traded a 7th-round pick for. And, okay, you could say, okay, Clayton, yeah, he's winning games, but that's not everything. We are literally top 5 and top 10 in every offensive category. So Matt LaFleur, he's got the wins. He's done it with 3 different quarterbacks now, right?
With the youngest roster.
Yes, the team stats are there. So check it off the list. Now let's move on to the defensive side. Jeff Hafley. All Jeff Hafley did was produce the second best. What was it? Yes, I think it was the second best run defense in the league.
Yes.
And he had the 7th or 8th best passing defense in terms of EPA per dropback, scoring defense, top 10, turnovers, top 3 in forcing turnovers, right? Like, again, I hate answering questions like that when I know I'm going to disagree because it sounds like I'm trying to prove them wrong, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just simply giving my opinion. I don't know how you can look at what Matt LaFleur has done and say he's not a good coach, and look at what Jeff Hafley did in 1 year. Guys, he may stink it up this year, and we feel totally different. That's possible. I doubt it, but that's possible. I'm telling you, man, I think the coaching staff is excellent. And what I love about it is they're not complacent. Like, people, what's the number one knock on Matt LaFleur other than he's too pretty? People say it all the time. Man, he just looks
I don't
like
know, man. Look at that picture, man. That do-rag's a little questionable.
Yeah, that looks like 3 nights in jail right there.
Yeah, he ain't that pretty.
But the big knock, in my opinion, is he's too emotional on the sideline. He's too this and that. I agree. You got to kind of temper that down a little bit. But at the same time, that doesn't look like a man that's complacent. It looks like a guy striving for excellence, right? And Jeff Hafley brings a good, calm, cool demeanor as well. So they could prove me wrong, Alex. They could prove me wrong. Might look up at the end of the year and go, man, both these coaches are trash all of a sudden. I don't see a scenario where that happens because I don't think they're going to get complacent. And the roster is a little bit older this year, even though we lost Jair Alexander. I feel like you adding, 3 veterans, at least 3 veterans, probably more than that when you really break down the roster. But you add in Nate Hobbs, veteran, Aaron Banks, veteran, young veterans, but they're veterans, and McCole Hardman, veteran. I think this team is probably going to be somewhere between, if I had to guess, 10 to 13 wins is where I would put them in that range. And the closer they get to 13 early in the year, I'm going to be screaming, we might be reaching 14. Now, you got to stay healthy. Guys got to execute all this coach speak that we always hear. But, yeah, I respectfully disagree, Alex, but we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you swinging through for sure. Anything else that you guys want to hit on here? Yeah, Packer up, it crossed my mind too, but, man, I like to trust people. I like to believe people until they give me a reason not to believe them. I'll just leave it at that. But that is a common occurrence. As the channel grows, you guys would not believe how many people I've just said block from the channel because you find out they're Bears fans and Lions fans. Lions fans are hilarious, man. The thing that cracks me up about Lions fans is, and I roasted a pretty prominent one last year on X, and it blew up pretty handily. But this guy released the video. We'll wrap up with this. He released the video saying, yeah, Packer fans are finally going to see what it's like to be at the bottom. And we'll see if you're real fans like we are. And I literally had to hit him with the receipts. I'm like, hey, bub, look at the attendance. The first year that Dan Campbell was your head coach, this is his first full year, Dan Campbell. Right? Mr. Y'all have always loved Dan Campbell, right? The first year Dan Campbell was head coach, you were dead last in average attendance. Dead last. And then you start winning. Oh, look, all of a sudden, damn, I didn't know Eminem was a fan. Look at this. Eminem's a super fan as soon as they start winning. So,
and winning, by winning, you mean basically nothing, correct? They haven't won anything. Nothing. So let's be real.
That's like Bears fans when they come in and they run them out and go, okay, let's just run through the gauntlet.
Yeah, keep hanging those divisional banners.
Who has more wins all time? The Green Bay Packers. Who has more head-to-head wins all time? The Green Bay Packers do. Who has more NFL championships? Green Bay Packers got 13. They do, right? Who has more Super Bowl championship, trophies? The Green Bay Packers do. Hell, let's break it down to NFC championships. It's named after your coach. The Green Bay Packers have more. You have literally nothing as a Bears fan to hang over the Packers other than you beat the Packers in Lambeau last year when we pulled our starting quarterback, lost our number one receiver to an ACL, and weren't playing half of our starters. That's what you have. And you beat us by 2 points, I think. So, listen, if a Patriots fan came in here and said, our franchise is better than yours, they got an argument. They got an argument for the level of success they've had, right? The Kansas City Chiefs, A-fam, if he ever comes out of the closet and says he's a real Chiefs fan, whoever does that, listen, I got to tip my cap, man. They're on top of the world right now. I'm not a delusional fan. But boy, oh boy, when Bears and Lions fans come here and try, and it's even better when Vikings fans do. It's like, show me that trophy case, Hoss. Like, just like the Lions, you have won 0 championships.
Their trophy case looks like the display model you see at the store because it's just empty. There's nothing.
Just a little dustier, right, Tim?
Yeah, that's right.
Anything else, boys?
Just one last thing. What do you guys think? I think I saw in the chat, maybe Coach Len or a few others, just saying that another close camp battle that they would like to see that maybe should have made that list. And I agree. Running back number 2 and number 3, just how that's going to pan out.
That's going to be good.
Between Lloyd, Wilson, why am I still blanking? Brooks.
I think those are the 2 guys, right? How many are we going to carry? And who's going to be 2 and who's going to be 3? You're right. It's going to be fun to watch.
I love that you bring that up, Jacob, because like Marshawn Lloyd, that was Daniel Jeremiah's best running back in the draft. And people forget that. Like he was like, this is the top running back in the draft. And obviously he got hurt and he's got to prove he can stay healthy. But Emmanuel Wilson, man, like we're liable to have the best running back room in the entire league. That's a real possibility, man. And especially if I don't think it's going to happen, but I mentioned it yesterday and I got a couple comments about it. And they were positive comments, but it's like, what if we all of a sudden just came out just a handful of packages and run Baylor splits and literally just open everything up for Josh Jacobs running against a five-man box? Oh my God, dude! Emmanuel Wilson
talked about that, right? Running out of passing sets, spread them out and just pound that rock inside zone, outside zone, whatever.
Yeah. Yep. If you want to remember what that looked like, do yourself a favor when you lay that head on that pillow tonight. Just go to YouTube and go, I'm going to fall asleep to Eddie Lacy highlights. That's what it was like.
It's so
we
fun.
Would spread it out and, run the draw play.
Speaking of running game and talking about Josh Jacobs, this immortalized photo from last year.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to the Honey Badger. Tyrann Mathieu retired today from the NFL. So we gotta give him a salute and show our respect for I'm a defensive guy, man. Tyrann Mathieu was fun to watch in his prime, man. So got to salute him. But at least we'll have the stiff arm from last season forever. Thank you.
Yeah. I think people have cracked the code and I agree, Tim, completely. I put a tweet out and said nothing but respect for the Honey Badger. Hell of a way for Josh Jacobs to send him out, though. That's stiff arm, right? People mentioning Omer in the chat. I'm wondering if maybe they're thinking that might be old Mr. Never mind. But go ahead, Jake.
I'm calling your mom. I'm going to call AFAM's mom. I'm going to call Omer's mom. We're getting them all.
Last quarter battle, and I completely agree. Brenton Cox Jr., Kingsley Enagbare, Baron Sorrell. To see who's going to be that like number 3/4 edge player there.
I got to be honest, man. It would take a lot for Baron Sorrell to unseat Brenton Cox Jr. for me. Brenton Cox Jr.
What about Kingsley? You think he could be? Because I'm talking the 3 and the 4, kind of.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think they could. But I will say this about Kingsley Enagbare, man. They really, really like Kingsley Enagbare. He got what 500 snaps last year. So I don't just all of a sudden think that's going to. I hope it changes because I think Brenton Cox Jr. deserves to be that guy with 500 snaps. So with that being said, Jacob, I understand what you're saying. You're basically saying, what about Enagbare versus Sorrell, right?
Basically,
it's going to be tough because again, look at how they've handled rookie pass rushers in the past, right? I mean, Lucas Van Ness was the 13th overall pick. And they wasn't just willing to march him out there and give him a bunch of snaps. So I can't imagine a 4th round edge rusher they would give him a lot of snaps. I think number 3 should be Brenton Cox Jr., although it might end up being Enagbare, and number 4 should be Enagbare, and kind of flip those two. I think Barron Sorrell is going to be one of those guys that he's probably going to be in maybe the 100, 120 snap range. Now, that being said, Tim, it's another thing to watch in camp. Barron Sorrell might step into camp and just start kicking everybody in the rear end, dude.
Exactly. And you see how quick things change, rapidly sometimes in camp. Guys, they cramp up or they, whatever it takes for you to miss a day of reps, and all of a sudden somebody else steps up and they're on the highlight reels and we're looking at it on our Twitter feeds all day long. It could happen. And then, you talk about these 3 preseason games, an opportunity for guys like that to step up and really show what they can do in, simulated game speed. So it's going to be fun to watch for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, man. You got anything else, Jacob? Anything else you want to hit on, Bo?
I think that'd be good for me. What about you, Tim?
I'm good to go, man. I'm going to get some sleep, get up bright and early. Might have me one of them 9 a.m. bratwursts or something before training camp,
Tim, I was gonna, so you are definitely going, right? Because like we talked about, Mr. Rob Westerman was in the chat. I believe he did say that he is going to the practice tomorrow, and I think I saw Ron Sandville may be going as well. So I'm not sure if you guys maybe want to hook up and maybe give us some sideline action there,
For sure. I'll be outside the wire all day. I won't be in line for the seats. I'll be trying to get a spot along the fence, monitoring our defense, So look for me on the south end zone. I'll be out there.
Tim going to be out there like Ricky Bobby's daddy at the races, watching outside because he got thrown out. You know what I mean? Yep. Yeah. Ron Sample says, hot in them porta potties.
Man, too. Ron knows the truth. You better hurry up. Make it quick if you're using those.
I got to find this meme real quick. Keep talking for just a second. This made me think of something.
Coach was saying for Tim to get some video. You guys, if you are new to the program here, Tim is usually there, usually busting out the sweat. Do you wear like the bucket hat, Tim? Like the scout bucket hat with the little fans on the front?
I got to get a Packer one, like a sun hat or something. But yeah, I'll be out there doing my best to stay as cool as I can. But
are you able to get some videos?
Some video that we're not supposed to take. There's not supposed to be video taken. You didn't hear it from me. It's not my video. Somebody gave it to me.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Jacob. You good?
No, do you got what you need?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is what I immediately thought of when he mentioned the porta potty. This is my favorite meme going on the internet. I'm sure you guys have seen it 1,000 times. Me pooping in 130-degree porta john in the field and hearing a knock. I'm in here, brother. If you have never worked construction, or in AFAM's case, I shouldn't say
if you've never worked.
If you've never worked in the porta john, boy, oh boy, the porta john on a hot summer day make you appreciate a gas station bathroom.
Oh man! Shout out to that lovely BP just south of the Ray Nitschke Field in the Hudson Center. By the way, they got air conditioning if you need it.
You walk into that porta john looking like this, and you come out looking like that. You know what I'm saying? Every time.
Oh, we're gonna give him some.
Right. All right. This show sucks. Let's get out of here. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Y'all are awesome. And again, shout out to our newest member, Greg. You guys make sure this week we're going to be giving away a really, really cool piece of memorabilia donated by Rick Kruger, one of our awesome listeners. It's an autographed rookie card, Dontavion Wicks. Really, really cool piece of memorabilia there. So anyone who is a member on YouTube, all right, just hit that join tab. If you're a member here on YouTube or you're a member in our Patreon group, I would recommend go to the Patreon group, get extra content, all that good stuff, get a chance to enter into our fantasy football league as well. It's patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. We're going to be giving away that autographed Dontavion Wicks card this Saturday or Sunday. We've been doing them on Sunday here lately. We may kick it out on Saturday. But tomorrow's the first day of camp. Really excited about that. We will be back tomorrow evening unless – if I get home early and like some kind of crazy news breaks, you may see one of my quick little live streams, but we'll still be going live at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. What we're going to do is give you guys offensive updates and defensive updates from the first open practice at training camp. Tim will be there. So, Tim, stay hydrated out there, man. And stay away from Ramage. Y'all end up in the clink together. You know what I'm saying?
No, we'll stop at Stadium View for a brew and some curds at some point for sure. But, Yeah, it's going to be a hot one tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing everyone out there braving the elements for sure.
Definitely. And if this is your first time tuning into PTA, thank you all for making us a part of your evening. Make sure you hit like, subscribe. That way you know every time we go live throughout the season. Coach Lynn says, great show. Go get them tomorrow, Packers. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Coach. Everybody in the chat, y'all are awesome, and y'all make this show what it is. We'll see you tomorrow. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world, and go Pack Go.
Here we go.
We're out. Bye, guys.